Mr. President, the United States is just one of 7 countries in the entire world that currently allows elective abortions after 20 weeks of pregnancy. And we're not in good company on that list. Of the other 6 countries that allow elective abortions at that very late stage of the child's development, half of those countries have authoritarian governments, communist governments with horrible records when it comes to human rights. Yes, our abortion laws are as extreme and inhumane as the abortion laws in Vietnam, China, and North Korea. It pains me, and it should pain all Americans, that the United States lags so very far behind the rest of the world in protecting the unborn, protecting human beings simply because they have yet to take their first breath. 20 weeks is the 5th month of pregnancy. Now just think about what that means. At that stage, the unborn child is about 10 inches long from head to toe. He or she is roughly the size of a banana. A baby at this age sleeps and wakes in the womb. She sucks her thumb, makes faces, and in some cases might even see light filtering in through the womb. And by 20 weeks, if not before, science suggests that the baby can also feel pain. Each year in this country, more than 10,000 abortions occur after this point in the baby's development. Today, we have a chance to stop this grave injustice. Moments ago, this body voted on the Pain-Capable Child Protection Act, a bill that would prohibit abortions after the 20th week of pregnancy. This is a common-sense restriction, one that is supported by a majority of Americans. More than 6 in 10 Americans supports a ban on abortion after 20 weeks, according to a Marist poll conducted earlier this month. Not only that, but a majority of Democrats, 56% in fact, said that they would support an abortion ban at 20 weeks. So yes, this bill does in fact have widespread support, and it would bring America back into the mainstream of nations. But more importantly, this bill is just. It's humane. It's the right thing to do. It's the natural outcome of any question that asks with a degree of moral probity, is this right? The reason we signed up for this job is to fight for what's right. And it is wrong. It is self-evidently wrong that our country allows 5-month-old unborn babies to be killed. We in this body have a moral duty to protect those vulnerable human beings. But I have no illusions that this will be easy. We have to overcome the misinformation that is out there within the abortion industry. This is a powerful special interest group that wants to keep abortion legal right up to the moment of birth. The abortion industry is attacking this bill by denying that there is any evidence that unborn babies can feel pain at 20 weeks. The linchpin of its argument is a 2005 study that claimed unborn babies could not feel pain until the 30th week of pregnancy. What the abortion industry never mentions, of course, is that this study was written by individuals with significant, and I would add undisclosed, ties to the abortion industry itself. As reported by the Philadelphia Inquirer, the study's lead author, who was not a doctor but a medical student, previously worked for NARAL. Another of the study's authors actually performed abortions as the medical director of an abortion clinic. Now, how convenient that the abortion industry's denial of fetal pain rests on a study by its own employees. If I recall, the tobacco industry tried something similar when they denied that cigarettes cause cancer. As always, the antidote to misinformation is more information. And the antidote to bad science is good science. So I have right here 3 studies that address the topic of fetal pain specifically. They were all published after the abortion industry's favorite study, the one that they prefer to acknowledge to the exclusion of all others. And unlike that study, the one that they like to prefer to the exclusion of all others, none of these studies can be said to have been compromised by a conflict of interest. Now, this one is by the International Association for the Study of Pain. It concludes, quote, "The available scientific evidence makes it possible, even probable, that fetal pain perception occurs well before late gestation. The study pinpoints fetal pain to the second trimester of pregnancy, well before the third trimester." Here's another study by the American Association of Pharmaceutical Scientists. It concludes, quote, "The basis for pain perception appears at about 20 to 22 weeks from conception." And then finally, here's a 2012 study published in the Journal of Maternal, Fetal, and Neonatal Medicine. This paper states that there is evidence that unborn children can feel pain beginning at 20 weeks. The authors note that at this stage, unborn children have pain receptors in their skin, that they recoil in response to sharp objects like needles, and release stress hormones when they're harmed. They conclude, quote, "We should suppose that the fetus can feel pain when the development of the fetus is equal to that of a premature baby," close quote. I could go on, but I think that's enough for now. The takeaway is this: the science, at a minimum, suggests that unborn children can feel pain at around 20 weeks, can feel abortionist instruments as they do their grisly work. These children feel, Mr. President, until they cannot. That possibility alone, the mere possibility, should be chilling to us. And that possibility alone should have us rushing to ban abortion at 20 weeks. So I'd employ my colleagues who didn't vote for this to reconsider, and the next time they have an opportunity to support it, to vote yes on the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act. A vote for this bill is a vote to protect some of the most vulnerable members of the human family. And yes, we are talking about members of the human family. The life form that we're talking about is not a puppy, is not some other form of animal. This is a human being that we're talking about. And this is something that instinctively calls out for us. We think about the needs of the most vulnerable among us, and we should be eager to protect them. Together, we can move our country's laws away from those of North Korea and China and towards our most fundamental belief that all human beings are created equal and that they have an unalienable right to life. Thank you, Mr. President. I yield the floor.